scanners. Make sure the VA scanner is doing a good job, not only having a good database of known stuff, but how it's testing the device, how it's fingerprinting the device, how it's finding out what devices are out there. Critical infrastructure, I kind of touched on this when I talked about SCADA. You say critical infrastructure, people say, okay, SCADA systems. And if you do a Google, like there has been like several talks about SCADA systems. The one that I saw yesterday was actually probably the best one that I've seen in the past year or so. But again, what is critical infrastructure? It all depends, right? Who saw, or of course you guys read, the problem with that country in Europe, Estonia, a few months ago, where the whole country stopped? Well, oh, they didn't have the internet for two weeks. Okay, well, if apparently they do a lot of stuff through the internet, and that's how the world is becoming, right? So if you stop the internet, you cannot use lots of stuff. For me, that's critical infrastructure. Apparently in Germany now, besides not being able to have networking attack tools or exploit tools, now if you DOS, if it's proven that you DOSed a system that is critical infrastructure, that is considered critical, you can go to jail for 6 years. So if somebody is running like on a really crappy web server, on really unpatched stuff, and the guy runs his, I don't know, something that is somehow critical on that server, if like 10 people access the thing at the same time and it's a really bad computer and you crash it, that's a bad thing. Come on. People have to be more reasonable, right? People have to understand security before making the laws. Some people are trying to fix security with laws and stuff they don't understand. That's not cool. So critical infrastructure, think about that. What is critical for who? Return of investment. If you saw Lance's talk yesterday, I put this after I saw his talk. What is return of investment? People like, if you get people that are high there, like on the upper level, upper management in security, well, ROI is that thing that you can like drink 10,000 beers and not get to the conclusion of it. But think about ROI on like, what is investment? Investment is in people, knowledge, and stuff like that. It's not only products, it's everything else. So keep that in mind as well. And fuzzing goes back to what I said in a few slides before, right? Fuzzing is just one of the tools. If you just run that, like the stupid test that I did, like just send random tests, you run that for one day, you didn't crash the box. Yes, I tested that, and it doesn't crash. I'm good. Of course, there's a limit of how much you have to test something, but keep in mind that other stuff also has to be tested, or the methodologies. The better way to do, the more effective, or the more effective, the better it will be. So real quick, because we're kind of running out of time, this is what I'm going to try to maybe do, or just totally forget about it in the near future. But just like random stuff here, right? So number one, people understand fuzzing. Even people that didn't know, hopefully after this talk, you kind of have an idea what fuzzing is and how beneficial that could be. But again, that's not the very best thing in security. Other stuff is more important. It's like Schneier says, right? Security is not a product, it's a process. It's really hard to implement this sometimes. So stuff about protocol fuzzing that I want to try to do, and hopefully it's not going to be that hard. But, make the stateful fuzzing more intelligent. What does that mean? I'm pretty sure that some stuff is going to be, or there are going to be some applications there that is actually, they're going to be like changing. They mutate in the middle. They're morphing during like using different protocols and stuff like that. That's one thing that, this is totally out there. Don't know how I'm going to try to do this, but maybe it's a cool thing. But what I think some guys presented at Black Hat, they have the idea of doing a more like, you don't know anything about the box, and you're going to start like kind of interacting with the box or just sniffing packets to understand how certain protocol works, and then you start fuzzing on top of it. That's a really cool idea. Offline protocol fuzzing and protocol correlation. This is mostly probably to write a new framework if needed. Just get packet captures and run some tool just to analyze packets and maybe just rewrite and then you replay that PCAP. I don't know if that's cool or not. Redundant system testing. Some people, they say, yeah, let me fuzz this, and if it doesn't break, it doesn't break. Well, sometimes you have two routers running via RP. You broke one, the other one took over, and you don't know. Or if you're testing something on a chassis, like a big router, they have dual processors. Make sure that you know that you broke something. It's not because the device keeps working, not because instrumentation works, means that you didn't break anything. Fuzzing through tunnels, don't know if this is going to take off at all, but it's something that should be cool. You create, I don't know, HTTP tunnel or some VPN tunnel or something like that, and you fuzz through that to an endpoint. Maybe you're able to break stuff in the system through a tunnel that regularly just throwing TCP packets or whatever you're trying to test is not going to break, but through a tunnel, maybe do something to the processes. Proxy fuzzing, kind of the same thing. You fuzz, you create a tunnel, you send fuzzing to a certain point, not trying to break that device, but go after that. Like make something fuzz, relay the fuzzing for you. And one thing that I don't know either, fuzz through like, let's say traffic shapers. You have like today some traffic shapers that they do funny stuff with TCP to make like slower connections more effective. Send fuzzing through that or use that as a benefit for fuzzing. Another thing that I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's an idea. So again, creativity is everything, not only for fuzzing, but for everything. And of course, people are going to try to integrate with other tools. Here are the resources that I have. Probably this presentation is going to be on the website soon of the conference. But the one that is really worth reading is this one, to understand the block-based approach that ITEL wrote this like years ago. Good morning. And that's it. Questions? We have 5 minutes or so.
Any questions from the floor?
Hi. I was wondering if I'd like to fuzz a box or a number of boxes behind, say, a firewall.
Through the firewall?
Through the firewall,
okay.
Because, like, say, I'm outside, I'm at Starbucks. I like to fuzz a couple of boxes behind a particular firewall.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, I don't want to crash the firewall. I just, want to test whether the boxes actually respond favorably. Mm-hmm. But if I do the fuzzing, I'm only afraid that I'll kill the firewall rather than the boxes behind. How do I go about actually doing that?
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good point, because usually sometimes people test, they want to just throw a fuzzer on a live network or a lab setup, is going through several boxes, and then the endpoint stops responding, and then you go back and you see that actually you broke something in the middle. I think one of the things, if it works well, is kind of do the tunnel thing that I have the idea to do. You create a tunnel, so the connection from your end, from the tester to the firewall is okay, and then you just kind of relay that through this tunnel. Could be SSH, could be some sort of VPN, any reliable tunnel.
Next question, anyone else? They're letting you off the hook easy.
Yes, that's it.
All right, great. Wait.
Oh yeah, the best question? Oh, no.
Sorry.
There's another one?
More, yeah.
For different kind of protocol, how you can actually define what kind of input you're going to fuzz? Because a different kind of a protocol, they have they only accept different kind of input. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how you going to determine the useful fuzzing?
Well, again, I think the best approach is to create a valid channel first, make sure that device is working with that protocol, and then you fuzz on top of it. So before you start sending bad stuff, you actually make sure the device is working with that protocol. And again, if you're trying to break a higher level protocol, let's say FTP, what do? You make sure you don't break the underlying stuff. You don't break TCP, you don't break IP. You just break whatever it's intended to be broken. And the stateful fuzzing would be a cool thing too, right? To try to exercise all the cases. So you're not only sending packets at this port number and hopefully it breaks, you're actually interacting with the device, exercising all the valid or all the different types of messages it has.
Any more questions? No, I think that's
We have the antivirus, right?
Yeah, we do have an antivirus kit for the best question, so really it's up to you between the two questions.
First one.
First one?
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. This is the second Panda security kit that you're getting. Asking pretty good questions, eh? Yeah, I'll just get it.
Actually, I think it's there.
I'll pass it to you. All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Luiz Eduardo.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
And he will be around at the exhibition area if you have any more questions.